Young girl struggles to walk along the beach, her eyes fixed on the vast ocean. It feels like she's waiting for someone or something to emerge from the water. The scene then shifts to Mia, sitting in her room in the house her family recently moved into. She heads to school, where she notices the popular girls hanging out, clearly intrigued by them. Another girl, Sophie, approaches Mia and starts a conversation, asking why she transferred to this school. Mia explains that her father got a job in the city, so they had to move. Later, Mia approaches the popular group, trying to seem cool by asking for a cigarette, but they ignore her and walk away. Frustrated, Mia heads home. Her mother, Gabriella, comes into her room and gently says that the new environment might be tough at first, but she will adjust. Suddenly, Mia grows angry and snaps at Gabriella, demanding that she leave her room. Gabriella tells her not to talk like that, but Mia, in a burst of rage, shoves her. Realizing what she's done, Mia quickly apologizes. That evening, her father, Michael, scolds her for attacking her mother. Mia remains silent and listens. Later that night, she goes to the kitchen, pours a glass of water, mixes in a large amount of salt, and drinks it. Then she quietly walks into her parents' bedroom and lies next to her mother to sleep. The next day in class, the teacher asks the students to choose a destination for their upcoming trip. Gianna, the leader of the popular group, suggests an amusement park, thinking it will be a fun place for her group to get high. Mia votes for the amusement park too, hoping it will help her fit in with them. Later, Mia tries to act cool by smoking, but one of Gianna's friends, Roberto, slaps her on the back as a joke, mocking her. Surprisingly, her act works, and the group asks her for cigarettes. They warm up to her and introduce themselves. Gianna, Nellie, and Vivi. As Sophie passes by, she asks Mia if the group is bothering her, but Mia dismissively tells her to mind her own business. Gianna then invites Mia to hang out with them. The girls go to Gianna's house, where Gianna asks her father to sign the consent form for the trip. Without even reading it, he signs. The group then hangs out in Gianna's bedroom, where they show Mia a pornographic video. Mia, feeling awkward and nervous, becomes the target of their teasing, since she's never watched anything like it before. They ask her if she's still a virgin and if she likes Roberto. Mia replies that she prefers older men, prompting the group to put her on a dating site. Next, the girls begin to playfully tease each other, and Gianna suddenly asks them to choke her. While everyone else refuses, Mia agrees. Gianna adjusts her breathing, and Mia tightly strangles her until she passes out. Gianna regains consciousness moments later, looking thrilled. Mia wants to try it too. Gianna chokes her until she passes out. While unconscious, Mia has visions of herself underwater. When she wakes up, she immediately heads home. Next, Mia enters her house and notices her mother's fish tank. She opens the tank, grabs one of the fish, and eats it. Moments later, she rushes to the toilet and vomits. Her mother, Gabriella, comes to the bathroom and asks what's wrong, but Mia insists she's fine. That night, Mia receives a message on her dating profile from a middle-aged man named Teddy. She ignores it and goes to sleep. The next morning, Mia puts on makeup before heading to school. Her father, Michael, is surprised to see her wearing makeup. She asks him to sign her consent form, and he tells her to leave it with him, saying he'll sign it later. At school, Mia feels self-conscious about her appearance, rubs off her lipstick, and removes her earrings. She notices the girls leaving the school compound and decides to follow them. They tell her they're going shopping. Later, Gianna takes a pregnancy test, and the group is relieved when the result's negative. Afterward, the girls go to the mall but don't buy anything. Instead, they shoplift. A security guard spots them, but they manage to run away before getting caught. The next day, Mia replies to Teddy's message and agrees to meet him. That same day, she gets her first period. She sits in the bathtub, shaves her legs, and suddenly notices her toes beginning to merge. Shocked, Mia stares at her feet in disbelief. Her mother knocks on the bathroom door, asking about the missing fish. Mia tells her she flushed them down the toilet. Gabriella becomes furious and slaps her. Later, Michael drives Mia to school. He scolds her for acting out of line and questions her about flushing the fish. Mia claims she doesn't know why she did it. Frustrated, Michael tells her she's not allowed to go to the amusement park. That day, Mia skips school and visits a hospital. She tells the doctor her toes started fusing after she got her first period. The doctor examines her and initially claims it's a birth defect she must have been born with. Mia insists it only happened the previous day. Upon closer inspection, the doctor realizes something unusual is happening. She asks Mia if anyone in her family has the same condition, but Mia says no. The doctor orders a blood test, but when Mia sees her talking on the phone, she panics and runs away. Next, Mia goes home and searches through family photos, hoping to find someone with the same defect. Instead, she notices there are no pictures of Gabriella pregnant or of herself as an infant. Growing suspicious, Mia confronts her mother, but Gabriella dodges the questions. Frustrated, Mia retreats to her room and watches pornography. Afterwards, she texts Teddy, asking if he wants to have sex with her, and he agrees. Excited, Mia tells the girls about her plans, and they accompany her to the hotel. Inside the hotel, Mia meets Teddy, and they chat briefly. He then asks her to lie down and begins touching her legs. However, when he notices bruises on her ankle, Mia panics and runs out of the room. Outside, the girls who were waiting for her are displeased to hear she didn't go through with it, and they leave her behind. Later, Mia heads home and cuts away the excess skin growing between her toes. She places tape between them and puts on socks to hide it. Afterward, she goes to Roberto's place, and they become intimate. He invites her to a party that evening before leaving. Later, Mia heads to the forest, sitting quietly as she tries to make sense of everything happening in her life. At home, her appetite for meat becomes so intense that it alarms her parents. She wears long trousers to hide her bruises and meets up with the group near a lake, where they smoke weed and drink. When Gianna gets too drunk, Mia takes her back to her house. In Mia's room, the two talk. Mia admits that she thinks she's adopted. Gianna shares that her parents are divorced and that her mother moved to the U.S. years ago, promising to take her once she was settled. But it's been 5 years with no word. Mia then tells Gianna her father has forbidden her from going to the amusement park. Gianna fakes Michael's signature on the consent form so Mia can join the trip. The next morning, Gianna meets Mia's parents, who are unaware she spent the night. Later, Mia sneaks off to the trip without telling her parents. She hands the forged consent form to the teacher, who accepts it without question. While on the bus, Mia ignores her mother's calls. The group consumes drugs during the ride, and by the time they arrive at the amusement park, they are all stoned. Mia finds Roberto at the park and takes him to a secluded basement. They start to get intimate again, but Mia suddenly stops, angering Roberto, who storms off. Feeling unwell, Mia heads to the bathroom, where she discovers her belly button has disappeared. Her legs are covered in bruises and she collapses. In her unconscious state, she dreams of swimming freely in the ocean. When she wakes up, she vomits. The girls find her, and noticing the bruises on her legs and her state, try to help her. After returning home from the trip, Mia's parents sit her down for a serious conversation. They confront her about sneaking off to the trip, and Gabriella asks her to explain what's going on in her life. Mia stays silent, so Michael decides she needs to see a therapist. That night, Mia goes to bed naked and wakes up on the floor the next morning. In the morning, Mia is shocked to see scales that have fallen off her thighs and legs. She hides them under her mattress. Realizing she's late for school, she rushes out. During class, her teacher assigns her to dissect a fish in front of everyone. As soon as the class leaves, Mia grabs the fish and eats it. Sophie, standing at the door, sees this. Mia grabs Sophie by the neck and threatens to kill her if she tells anyone. Outside, Roberto confronts Mia, asking if she is clean because rumors about her bruised legs have been spreading. He worries she might have infected him. Mia reassures him that she's healthy. Later, Mia visits a therapist. She tells her that she's adopted and believes whatever is happening to her is inherited from her biological parents. That evening, Mia and Gianna sneak into Mia's parents' bedroom to look for adoption papers. Gabriella catches them and tells Gianna to leave. Mia confronts Gabriella, saying she doesn't believe she's her real mother and wants to know the truth. Disappointed, Gabriella admits that sometimes she doesn't believe Mia is her daughter either. The next day, Michael and Gabriella attend a wedding, but Mia refuses to go. Left alone, Mia eats all the fish in the tank. She then texts Gianna to meet up and takes pills with alcohol before leaving the house. They meet near the lake, where everyone is partying. Mia drinks heavily and lies on the ground, intoxicated. Suddenly, Gianna starts drowning in the lake. Without hesitation, Mia dives into the water. Her swimming skills are now extraordinary, and she manages to find Gianna underwater. After some effort, Mia brings Gianna to the surface and drags her to the shore. Gianna regains consciousness, but Mia, overwhelmed, runs home. In the bathroom, Mia examines herself in the mirror. To her shock, she discovers that gills have started forming on her ribs. Mia finds her legs covered in gray scales and tries to peel them off in desperation. Suddenly, Gianna arrives at her house and sees what's happening. Horrified, Gianna vomits on the floor and tries to clean it up. But Mia, furious, throws a bottle at her and demands she leave. Next, Mia applies heavy makeup and heads to another party. She climbs onto a table and dances provocatively, drawing attention from the crowd. The men at the party give her more drugs and begin kissing her. They then take her to a room, forcing her to perform sexual acts one by one. Next, Gianna bursts into the room and scolds the men for taking advantage of Mia. She tells them that Mia's legs are bleeding, piquing their curiosity. The men restrain Gianna and forcibly strip Mia. They are shocked to see her legs covered in a thin gray membrane, bleeding heavily. Gianna then tells them it's contagious. Then, Mia runs away. When Mia gets home, she realizes her legs have fully merged together and she can no longer walk. In despair, she goes to the kitchen and cuts her wrist in an attempt to end her life. She collapses on the floor, unconscious. Hours later, Mia wakes up and is horrified to discover her legs are completely gone, replaced by a mermaid tail. She struggles to crawl to the bathroom. She manages to get into the bathtub and fills it with water, trying to calm herself. As the tub overflows, water floods the house. Then Mia lies on the flooded floor and calls Gianna for help. Next, Gianna arrives at Mia's house and freezes in shock at the sight of her transformed friend. After composing herself, Gianna drags Mia to her pickup truck and places her in the back. She drives to the ocean and sits with Mia on the truck. Using Gianna's phone, Mia calls her mother. She tells her that she misses her and Michael and promises they will meet again when they return. Before Gabriella can respond, Mia hangs up. Next, Mia and Gianna sit together on the beach as the sun begins to rise. Gianna asks Mia if she's afraid. Mia smiles softly and says she isn't, as it feels like she's finally going home. They share a heartfelt hug before Mia crawls toward the water. She slips into the ocean and swims gracefully, just like in her dreams. Before disappearing into the endless waves, she resurfaces one final time to watch the sunrise. Then she vanishes into the vast open sea. Mia hopes to find her kind where she can finally fit in. The end. Thank you for watching. Be sure to like our channel and subscribe if you enjoy content like this. Also, let us know what movie you would love us to recap for you.